is something that is making our society to decay. What is fraud? Fraud is the intentional gain in terms of finance. You make financial gain using means that are not right, and someone else gets a loss. Ladies and gentlemen, our topic today is on methods that people use to defraud others or to defraud organizations. Welcome to my channel, Question for Success. My name's Ann Nambiro. One of the methods is embezzlement. When we say embezzlement, what are we talking about? We are saying you are trying to use assets that are entrusted to you as an officer in that organization or as employed by that individual for the purposes of self-gain. You end up hiding the truth and making payments, yet you used those resources for personal gain. For example, if you sign a work ticket for a lorry to go and ferry your sand, to go and ferry your ballast, and someone else is making payment for that purpose, fueling that lorry, paying for the driver, that is embezzlement. We also have misappropriation. When we talk of misappropriation, what are we saying? This is unauthorized and unlawful use of resources for the purpose of one gaining, but the resources are not intended for whatever you are using them for. If, for example, you are having a training workshop and you buy 300 loaves of bread, but participants are 250, it simply means the extra 50 may have gone to some personal gain, because if 350 plus the support for that particular workshop, whether in terms of those who made arrangements for the venue are also having that sumptuous lunch of loaves, it simply means the extra is going to be changed into money and given to you, or you are going to take it to some place for financial gain. So that is what misappropriation will be in terms of fraud. Also, we have teaming and lending. What is teaming and lending? Here you make cash from customers, their accounts. Then that cash is sent to another account. Then after a short time, you take that money back to the legitimate account. Sometimes it's also referred to as short banking or lapping. So the delayed accounting for the money is just for the purpose of you balancing your books. You know what you have done. You end up lending yourself some of that money, and then you take back the money. We also have another method called forgery. This one is used a lot. You can forge different items. You can forge artwork in terms of somebody's picture. You can forge, for example, you make the local service order, and it may be or local purchase order, and it may be for certain services or certain goods to be supplied. Now, when during the process of one implementing, that one contractor implementing whatever you contracted him to implement, you change the terms. You change the terms in the local purchase order. If they included value added tax already from the quotation, now you create again another component there and you make payment. That is forgery. So you alter information, and the information you are altering is with intent for you to gain. So my audience, that information is altered for the purpose of gaining. And who is gaining? The person who is altering that information. So that becomes forgery. And you can alter many things. You can alter somebody's artwork. You can alter somebody's thesis for the purpose of you graduating and gaining. You can alter somebody's paper, amongst others. The intent is financial gain. So the finance aspect must be there. Then we also have double dipping. as a way of fraud. So when I say double dipping, what am I talking about? In double dipping, here is an organization, for example, a women group. It could be a self-help group. It will be an ungovernmental organization. You were funded for a particular activity by a certain organization. In this case, we shall call it X. Again, you write a proposal, same objective, organization Y, funds. You are not satisfied. You want your insatiable appetite for funding to go through. Same objective, again, organization Z, funds. So the donors end up funding a certain organization for an activity, for example, called beekeeping. Yet, when reporting, you only change the name of the donor. You report to X, you report to Y, and you report to Z. But it is the same activity funded by 3 entities, 3 different donors. That is double dipping. You obtain income from different sources and it is used for a certain purpose, but it is illicit in that other activities are not undertaken. You keep on reporting based on that activity you undertook using donor money from one source. The rest you put it in your pocket. That is what double dipping is about. Misrepresentation is another form of fraud. What do I mean by misrepresentation? In misrepresentation, one gives false information on the statement of account. So this false information leads to something else, and yet one is gaining economically. As a result of that misrepresentation, an organization loses money, but whoever is driving the misrepresentation ends up gaining. So the offense is such that you give misinformation, which leads to an economic gain. If it's the accounts, you misinform on the true status, then you end up gaining. So that's what misrepresentation is, and you end up participating in fraud and economically gaining. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have the issue of false accounting. Here is the act of giving untrue information about a company's account. So people think your company is doing so well, but the truth is you've hidden the truth. And at some point, they think you are doing so well, and when the truth is discovered, because you are dishonest, you cannot continue sustaining your activities. So it is just false accounting for the purpose of hiding something, and you end up getting a loan from a bank, yet your capacity to repay that loan is not there. You end up getting certain contracts, yet your capacity for implementation of those contracts is not there, simply because of false accounting. You can even borrow money, deposit in your account. After you've met your objective, you return to the owner lends another person, deposits in that account. And the same money can rotate in so many accounts for the purpose of gaining financially in terms of economics. You may get to win a tender because your accounts are okay, but the truth is that money was from a different source. We also have the issue of computer hacking. When I say computer hacking, what am I saying? Here we use the computer, we use the internet. We can access one system, we can access one's password and crack into the system. It could be the system for an organization, it could be for the banking sector, and you falsify information. After doing that, you've met your objective and you gain. You gain from those who send you to falsify the information. You gain from those who send you to do whatever you have done. The falsification affects people negatively. It could be falsification in terms of numbers. If it's in an election system, we are talking of numbers being falsified, and a candidate who was not to win ends up winning. So it ends up being fraud and it will be gainful to that person who has won the election. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the new technology of computer hacking. Then we have impersonation. You pretend to be someone else with intent to mislead. Impersonation is close to misrepresentation. Remember, in misrepresentation, the offense of giving misleading information, it is supposed to help you account for your economic entity. But in misrepresentation, what we are saying is, ladies and gentlemen, I am the teacher. Depending on the situation, I am the social worker. Depending on the situation, I've become a nurse, I'm the counselor. So I end up gaining through impersonation. But closely related is misrepresentation, as I mentioned, because in misrepresentation you give false information. In impersonation, you the person, you are what you are not. So people end up gaining by impersonation. Ladies and gentlemen, because of fraud, we have had so many negative impacts on those who have lost financially. I'll mention few because it was not the main topic, but one is in tax. Governments get to lose in taxation, someone else gained, and someone else lost. Insurances, yes, may pay to a certain extent. If it was your own negligence, someone hacked into your system, how do you expect the insurance companies to come in and cover you for what you did not insure? Such negligence was never anticipated. Fraud, ladies and gentlemen, is one where the person in authority has procurement weaknesses. He fails to advertise a tender in the rightful manner. For example, a tender which is supposed to go to the daily newspapers that are renowned, or to certain areas of advertisement, including the website, they are done on a notice board. And as a result, since very few people check just a notice board at the workplace, only the friends get to know. You end up having companies that are aligned to the officer who is advertising that particular tender, and the officer ends up being part of the selection committee. You end up having financial gain because you are deciding on the tender documents. At the same time, you are deciding on who is winning that particular tender and for a certain amount. So collusion and coercion can be very active in this particular fraud, and you end up gaining as you are everything. It's a one-man show. So that is our topic in terms of methods, ladies and gentlemen, on fraud. Thank you for listening. If you are new to me, Questing for Success, I request you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you are returning, thanks a lot for continuing to be a customer to Questing for Success. Thank you.